The last bus out of Hollow Bridge pulled into the depot at 1:17 a.m., a full 6 minutes late. No one noticed. No one ever did. The driver, Ronnie Kells, lit a cigarette with trembling hands. He hadn't smoked in years, but tonight his gut whispered things he didn't want to hear. The fog had rolled in unnaturally fast, thick and swirling, even inside the depot bay. It hissed around the tires like it was alive. He opened the doors. 5 passengers climbed aboard. No one spoke. There was the night nurse, still in scrubs, eyes red and hollow. An old man with a stained duffel bag and an army patch barely hanging on. A teenage couple, drunk or stoned, or both. And a girl, maybe 8, dressed in a white Sunday dress, sitting alone, no parent in sight. "Where to?" Ronnie asked, mostly out of habit. The girl looked up at him. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. He blinked, and then she was already walking to the back of the bus. Ronnie exhaled smoke, shut the doors, and eased the bus into gear. Dispatch crackled through the radio. 86, confirm reroute through Granger? He grabbed the receiver. Granger? That's not on. Repeat, confirm reroute through Granger, fog diversion protocol. Static swallowed the voice, then silence. Ronnie frowned. Granger route had been shut down 5 years ago after a landslide took out half the ridge. Nothing out there but woods and a rotted-out tunnel. But the digital route screen above his head blinked, "Now entering Granger Diversion, Route 86. The steering wheel jerked in his hands. He almost swerved into the guardrail. "What the?" The teenage boy laughed from the back. "You good up there, old man?" Ronnie didn't answer. The GPS screen was flickering, showing impossible road turns, looping symbols, and, briefly, a spinning red icon shaped like an eye. He hit the brakes. The bus didn't slow. In fact, it sped up. The streetlights outside disappeared one by one behind them, eaten by the fog. The road beneath turned from asphalt to something darker, wet, slick, uneven. A sign flashed past the window, rusted, barely readable. "Welcome back to Granger Ridge." But that wasn't possible. Granger Ridge was gone. Ronnie turned to the rearview mirror to ask the passengers if they saw it too. Only 2 of them were still in their seats, and no one had left. The brakes screamed, but Ronnie hadn't touched them. The bus shuddered like something massive had grabbed the chassis and dragged it to a halt. The passengers lurched forward. The old man swore. The nurse hit her head on the pole and hissed through her teeth. The doors opened on their own. Fog poured in, spilling like liquid across the floor. Outside stood a station, or what used to be one. The roof sagged inward, rust streaking down the columns like dried blood. The ticket booth was a blackened husk. Vines crawled up the walls, thick as veins. "End of the line already," the teenage boy joked, but his laugh cracked halfway. The girl in the white dress stood. "It's my stop." "No," Ronnie called, but his throat dried before the words fully formed. She stepped onto the cracked pavement. Her shoes didn't make a sound. The fog swallowed her in 3 steps. The nurse bolted for the door, slamming her hands against the side panel. "Open it! We can't leave her out there! Open it!" "They're open," Ronnie muttered. He hadn't moved a muscle since the doors first hissed. The nurse stumbled into the fog after the girl. The teenage couple shouted after her. Then, silence. Ronnie leaned out of his seat, squinting through the gray veil. "Hey, get back inside! You hear me?" Nothing. The old man's voice came low and gravel-thick from the back. "She's gone." Ronnie spun on him. "What do you mean, gone?" The veteran shifted his duffel closer to his chest. "Saw it in the window. When the fog closed around her, something took her." The teenage girl laughed nervously. "Oh yeah? What, like aliens?" The old man didn't blink. Didn't look like aliens. The bus jolted hard, nearly throwing everyone from their seats. The doors slammed shut. The engine roared, coughing up black smoke. Ronnie grabbed the wheel, but the bus lurched forward on its own. "Hey!" The teenage boy staggered down the aisle. "What the hell's happening?" Ronnie didn't answer. He couldn't. Something was moving outside the bus. Shadows bending wrong inside the fog, pacing them, crawling over the roof. The nurse's scream echoed once, sharp and raw, then cut off. The sound didn't come from outside. It came from the luggage compartment under their feet. The scream rattled through the floor, vibrating the seats, hollow and muffled like someone was trapped beneath the bus. The teenage girl clamped her hands over her ears. "She's down there!" "Don't you dare open it," the old man growled, clutching his duffel like a lifeline. The teenage boy was already fumbling at the emergency latch on the side door. "We can't just leave her," Ronnie barked. "Sit down!" His own voice cracked under the weight of panic. The wheel twisted in his hands again, steering sharp left without his say. The headlights cut across empty forest. Trees blurred past. The fog had thickened into a solid wall. The bus was moving faster now. The dashboard flickered, lights pulsing red. The radio snapped to life. Static, then a hollow voice. "Manifest not recognized. Reassign, reassign, reassign." Ronnie's stomach dropped. What the hell does that mean? The words crawled across the digital passenger board above the seats. Passengers, 5. Registered manifest, 0. "Zero?" the nurse's voice gasped from inside the static. Everyone froze. The teenage boy whispered, "She's dead, man. She's dead and talking through the radio." The old man stood, jaw tight, pulling something metallic from his bag. A pistol. He waved it toward the windows. "She's not talking. Something else is." The teenage girl shrieked, "You brought a gun on a bus?" He snapped back, "Damn right I did." I knew this wasn't just a ride. Ronnie didn't care about the gun. His eyes locked on the rearview mirror. The girl in the white dress was sitting in the very back row, calm, perfect posture, hands folded in her lap. She smiled when she saw him looking. Ronnie spun around in his seat. She wasn't there. The teenage boy cursed and staggered backward as the bus roof caved in with a loud metallic screech. Claws, long, jagged, clicking against steel, raked across the ceiling. Dust and rust showered the aisle. The old man aimed upward. "It's on top!" The bus bucked. Something heavy shifted above them. The radio hissed again, that same hollow voice. "Manifest confirmed. Next stop, the Blood Mile." The lights inside the bus cut out, and something started peeling open the roof like a tin can. Metal shrieked as the roof tore wide. A claw hooked through the light fixtures, ripping them out in sparks. Something black and slick dropped into the aisle, its limbs bending the wrong way. The teenage girl screamed. The old man opened fire. 3 deafening shots. The thing twitched, then lurched toward him, absorbing bullets like wet paper. Ronnie floored the gas, but the bus was already moving faster than the engine allowed, like it was being pulled by invisible chains. The headlights revealed nothing but a straight stretch of road, endless and wet, lined with skeletal trees. The nurse's voice cried again from beneath the floor. This time it wasn't words, just wet, gurgling sobs. The creature whipped its head around, eyeless but aware. Its jaw unhinged, too wide, too human. It shrieked. The sound broke the teenage boy's nosebleed wide open. He fell, clutching his face, blood spattering the seats. The old man charged forward, jamming the barrel of his gun straight into the thing's throat. "Choke on it, you bastard." He fired. The creature spasmed, black fluid spraying, before it exploded backward through the rear windows. Glass shattered. The fog surged inside. For a moment, silence. Then the bus groaned like the road itself was alive. The wheels screamed as the asphalt warped into a vein-covered nightmare. The fog thickened until Ronnie couldn't see 10 feet ahead. The dashboard lit up again. Route map, a red loop circling the same mile over and over. The screen flashed a phrase in bold, flickering letters, the blood mile. Ronnie's chest tightened. His breath came ragged. He turned, sweat pouring down his face. "We're not getting out, don't you see? We're stuck here." The old man wiped blood from his cheek. "Then we fight until—" "No," Ronnie whispered, slumping against the wheel, his voice broken, hollow. "Fighting doesn't matter. Screaming doesn't matter. Praying doesn't matter." He looked each of them in the eye, what was left of them. His lips trembled as he spoke the words that had been waiting in him all along. "Everyone rides. No one arrives." The lights went out. The bus hit something massive, hard enough to send everybody crashing forward. The windshield spiderwebbed. The engine roared, and the roof began caving in again. This time, more than one set of claws. The claws came in pairs now. 4 sets, then 6, scraping and gouging through the ceiling until the bus rattled like it was inside a storm of steel. Black liquid dripped down in fat, sizzling drops that hissed against the floor. The teenage girl shrieked and bolted for the door. She hammered the emergency release, but the doors refused to open. The fog pressed against the glass like a living wall, veins pulsing across its surface. The teenage boy staggered after her, blood still pouring from his face. "Let us off! Please, let us out!" The old man snarled, pulling the last of his bullets into the chamber. "There's no way off." "Haven't you figured it out?" He pointed his gun toward the ceiling. "They'll keep coming until—" The roof split wide. Something poured in. Not a body, not a creature, something wider. Endless black limbs spilling through the breach like the insides of a spider turned inside out. The girl in the white dress sat calmly at the very back, exactly where she'd been the moment Ronnie first saw her in the mirror. Her voice carried through the chaos, clear as a church bell. "You were never meant to leave." Ronnie spun, terror locking his chest. "What are you?" The girl tilted her head, smiling with too many teeth. "The stop." The teenage girl collapsed, sobbing, clawing at the windows. The boy wrapped his arms around her, shaking. The old man screamed and emptied his gun into the writhing limbs. One tore him from his feet, crushing him against the roof before pulling him through the hole. His screams faded into the fog. The teenage couple vanished next, dragged screaming into the dark, their bodies snapping like twigs. Ronnie staggered back to the driver's seat, his hands shaking on the wheel. "Please, just let me finish the route." The girl rose from her seat, her white dress untouched by the black rain of blood. Her eyes burned with fog. "You already have." The road outside shimmered. The endless mile broke apart into light. The bus slowed, screeching as it pulled into a brightly lit, modern station. Clean walls, bright signage, empty benches. The doors hissed open. No one got off. The bus idled, quiet, patient. The route display above the driver's seat flickered once more. Next service, Route 86, the Blood Mile. Ronnie's voice whispered through the empty seats, though no one was there to hear it. Everyone rides, no one arrives.
Well, I'm just glad we're safe and warm here by the fire and not trapped on that bus. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you won't miss the next journey into the dark. There's always another seat waiting for you, right here by the fire. Until next time.